Good morning, everyone. Hello. Anna's here. Hiya and all. Happy Sunday. Sorry, Anna. I'm clearly having a slow start to the morning. Good morning. Hello. Welcome. I've left my hot chocolate over there. That was silly. This is better. Oh, it's chilly down here. It is 15 degrees. But it is nice and warm outside. Well, warm, sunny. It's bright and sunny, which is nice. My phone is almost dead, so let's charge that. And yeah. How is everybody today? Caroline's here. Happy Sunday, Sean and Peeps. Hello. Justin UK is here. Hello. Diana's here. Hello. The wondering. Hello. Happy Sunday. Hello. Keep trying to read the second half of your name as if it's a comment, Diana. Life like Vera. Happy Sunday. First timer. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. There probably won't be much of what it said on the tin, to be honest. I yesterday came down and printed out, cut out, haven't traced it yet, the Gertie cape and hood. I have also got out the hemispheric coat and worked out what size I need to do and which pieces I need to trace. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to do a 1-inch length adjustment all over. I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be long enough for my tastes. I am going to make a muslin because the wool that I have was £20 per metre and there is no more of it, so I cannot replace it if it all goes horribly wrong. So I am going to make a muslin. I'm also going to tweak the hem of this, I think, because at the moment it's got the built-in hem facing in it, and whilst it's not got a really wide circumference on the bottom of the coat, it's a big enough one that I think I'm going to prefer my hem finishing technique rather than the sort of like turn it up and ease it in method, although they have shaped the hem on this pattern. So yeah, and then I need to try and work out how long I need the sleeves to be, because the sleeves are interesting and raglan, so they're integral, like the sleeve pieces is really long, so I need to work out how long it's going to be from the shoulder point, which I think I'm going to be able to do. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Tia's here. Good morning. Diana says good morning from Philadelphia. Good morning. Elena says good morning, lovely Shana Peeps. Good morning. H.E. Sows is here. Hello. Anna says, I wonder how much actual crafting will happen today. Yeah. You guys know me too well. So Colette says, oh, morning, Shan. Happy Sunday. Good morning. Maverick says, hi, Shan and Peeps for a sunny, cold Kent. Michelle says, morning, Peeps. I'm on time for a change. Welcome, Michelle. Red Evie says, hello, Peeps. Hello. Lucy Lou says, morning. Happy Sunday, everyone. Good morning. Tristan's here. Good morning, Peeps. Good morning. Life Like Vera says, just cut out 3 times Gertie Harlow PJs. Loved so much I'm making 3 at once. Nice. Tristan says, I'm late to the party. What dress are you wearing? The fabric looks so pretty. It is actually a Deer and Day Sirocco in cotton jersey from Flamingo Fabrics, and the print is still available. It's one of their print on demand ones that you can have put on anything, and I am using every ounce of my willpower to not have some put onto their raincoating fabric to make a raincoat out of it, because I have so much coating fabric already and I don't need a pattern coat. I need plain coats. Oh, I really want one. So yeah. Tristan says, love it. Erica says, hi, Shannon Peeps. Hello. Kathleen says, good morning from Illinois. Is that your new iron? It is our other iron, not a new one. It's the one that we had up in the main house, which Mum and Dad used to iron their clothes when they had come out of being laundered, and it's had to work its way down here because we use it more down here than they do laundry. So yeah, we need to order a new iron. This one is a Philips Perfect Care Power Light optimal temperature. Just yeah, mum bought it from Amazon, I think. Elena, I see what you're saying. Stop it. Behave. The crafting gamer says hello all. Hi. HSO says I really wish they'd do that thistle print in black. I would buy it in every base. I mean, it's a print on demand. You can always ask them. They can tweak it. It's worth a try. If you're going to enable me, I'm going to do the same to you guys. Erica says, but do you have raincoat fabric? No, I don't. I don't actually. Yeah, I don't. Christine says, morning all. Good morning. Michelle says, the print of that fabric is amazing. I love it. Also great colours on you too. Yeah, again, it's the bright white. So technically not me, I should have ivory, but because it's got so many of my other colours in it, and this was a happy accident getting this much pink on the neckband. I think it works really, really well. Elena says, but a raincoat is a totally different thing than an everyday coat. I'm already having to restrain myself from buying one of the ones that Bianca. How did I forget that? All I could see was her face. Yeah, I'm having to restrain myself from buying one of the PVC like see-through glass raincoats that because they are the same shape as the Gertie princess coat, and I want one. I also accidentally fell onto Pittard's leather, which is where I got those skins from up there, because I was thinking, oh, you know, like I want to give my Ziggy jacket or a moto style jacket a try, and ideally the end goal is to make one in leather, which is going to be really expensive. So yeah, sorry, I thought something on my mouth there. So I need to obviously perfect the fit and try it out in different things first. But I stumbled onto Pittard's and was looking through the leather, and I was like, oh, black, yeah. I already have a black one, my All Saints one that I told you guys about, the Harris one with all the patches and studs on it. So I don't need a black one. And I was like, oh, probably like a brown tan color would be the next most sensible option. And somehow I ended up on absinthe green. I remember there was a Karen Millen leather coat, and it was in a buttery yellow color, and it was really expensive. And it was another one where I ummed and ahed about it and didn't end up buying it, and have that thing has lived in my head rent free for a good 20 years now. And I was thinking, oh, maybe a yellow leather coat might be a good idea. And then, yeah, like I say, green. Green's always a good idea. But yeah, I every now and again I will do an eBay search for a Karen Millen leather coat or leather jacket, just to see if somebody is selling their one. Oh, just had an email to say going live. Only 8 minutes and 40 seconds into it. Nothing like being prompt. So yeah. I think that's the thing, isn't it? When you make your own clothes, you can obviously tailor what you make to your heart's desire. So if I want an absinthe green leather jacket, like I can do that. Whether it would be sensible to do that is another question. But yeah, I can do that. And do you know what, guys? I'm going to sit down while I'm drinking my hot chocolate, which means that you need to come down off your perch for a second. Otherwise, you won't see me. You won't see me. I am going to sit down because I've had quite a busy week. It's been a very nice week. Let's take you down here. Hello. Boob cam. That's better. So yeah, I've had a very busy week. Went to Salsa on Tuesday. If you watched the shorts, you'll have seen I wore my first Eve of the year. and was still too hot. So I went to another salsa class and party this time on the mainland. First time I've been on the mainland since October. And yeah, I went over with some of the other guys from the Isle of Wight Salsa Club. There was 8 of us in total, and there was like a we because of the ferries, we were 10 minutes late for the class, so we had a like 45-minute lesson, and then we stayed till about 10:30 for the dancing. The dancing does go on till 1:30, but the ferry home is either at midnight or 3 a.m. And the lady that was driving had to work the next day, so she was just like, I can't do it. So yeah, we all turned into pumpkins and got on the midnight ferry. But then we went and took over one of the lounges, and somebody had brought a little speaker with them and started dancing in one of the lounges, which was very much fun. I woke up the next day, everything aches. Everything aches. Yeah, like ow. But a nice ache, like it's a full body workout, salsa. Like you don't really think about it, but the next day you're like, oh, well, I didn't know that I had a muscle there. So that was really fun. It was really nice to dance with a load of other people. Uh, did a couple of bachata songs, which is something that I haven't danced for about 5-6 years. But that one came screaming back, and I kept warning everybody that asked me to dance. I was just like, I'm really rusty. I haven't done this for like 4 years. I've had two weeks of lessons, and I haven't done this for about 4 years otherwise. So yeah, it was good. A couple of like fluff ups, and I went wrong, but yeah, it was really fun. It was really, really fun. Elena says, never. Just ordered a bunch of bag making hardware and now over my budget until April. Or as bad as each other. Conchetta says, hi everyone, hope you're all well. Absinthe green will be gorgeous. Yeah, and it's on my colour wheel. I think it would be really pretty. And it would go with so many of my things. So I'm thinking that or the yellow one. Just because that yellow Karen Millen jacket has lived rent-free in my head for so long. It was like a really beautiful buttery yellow. And it was a super fitted moto jacket with lots of top stitching on it. Really wish I'd bought that. And if I found, I could do rose gold zips instead of silver zips, which would be cool. The Crafting Gamer says, I loved the black coat you showed. Ah, thank you. This one here. Yes. Kathleen says, I finished an English riding jacket, and 2 weeks ago I made a short flared brown wool coat. Could post them if you want to see them. Always, please. Anytime you guys finish anything, we love seeing it in the Peeps group. So please do. Caroline says to Kathleen, please do. Used to have a fab hacking jacket back in the 80s that I made. Nice. Elena says, by the way, your advert was nice. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I was quite pleased with it. I mean, I get offered so many advertising opportunities now. Even as the tiny channel that I am, I get offered like almost daily. I've got something coming through, and most of the time they're not the right fit for me at all, and I won't even, like, I'm just like, thanks but no thanks. But Teddy Blake, it just made sense because the bags were gorgeous, they're beautifully made, and they are such a good price point for what they are. I really do think that they're worth the money. So yeah, it was a pleasure to be sent the bag and show you guys back then, and then the pleasure to sort of like tell you about how I've been wearing it since. So yeah, I'm eyeing up the green one on for the same style of bag, the green and the red one. Michelle says, I met my husband salsa dancing. Ah, nice. There was definitely no boy potential there at all. So yeah, but it was really fun. It was just really, really fun. Conchetta says, so glad you had fun dancing. The ad looked great. Thank you. Michelle says, I've been dancing for almost 20 years. I call it my mood altering drug of choice. Yeah, absolutely. Mim's here. Hello, gorgeous. How are you? And hello, Peeps. Very well, thank you. Kathleen's posted the coats. Can I share? Mind you, my battery's nearly dying, so. Oh, okay. I was just checking my emails before I came on, and I had an email from PayPal saying £645 has been taken out of your account because of this, this, and this. And it was obviously a scam email, but the first notification that came up on my phone just now was PayPal. It was like, oh God, what if it wasn't? But it's all right. It's a different thing. Right. Kathleen. Kurtz. 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 Kurtz, 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 Kurtz. Kurtz. There it is. Oh, they are pretty. Oh, I like it. Yeah, I might need that. Which pattern did you say it was, Kathleen? That's very pretty. And so is that one. Oh, look at the little tail on that one. Very pretty. Yeah. You guys have been making me laugh as well in my fabric haul video that went up yesterday. I'm being superly ambitious as well as trying to do my slopers. I'm thinking my slopers are going to take me like a day, 2 days. Yeah, I think I might be delusional. I'm really hoping that I can get them done, at least the bodice and the skirt one done this week, because that's what Friday's video is going to be. So yeah. Susan's here. Good morning. Good morning. Jojo says, morning all. Hope you're all well. Very well, thank you. Justine says, Kathleen, the jackets are beautiful. They are indeed. This is so good. Elena says, I have grandiose plans for Tuesday. I'll be finally trying to sew myself a boho style backpack from the most terrifying teddy bear goblin fabric. But you can do it. That was delicious. I am going to take it away from myself though, because it's right on top of my pattern, and I can just imagine myself knocking it over and ending up with a hot chocolate stain on my pattern, which would be sad. Right. I did say I was going to do paper crafting today, didn't I? But I'd forgotten that the room was set up for cutting and tracing mode. So what should we do? What shall we do? Anna says to Caroline, thank you so much for subscribing. Yes, please do subscribe to Anna's channel, Pattern Pouch Nest. Kathleen says, thanks for the compliments on the coats. They are beautiful. I've got a very itchy nose. I think it's because it needs dusting down here. There is a lot of dust. A lot of dust. Yeah, I am not set up for paper crafting. I'm set up for tracing out and out. So what shall I do? I've got the patterns out for the red viscose fabric, the 7537. So I could iron that pattern and start getting that cut out. I've got the pattern out for the jogging bottoms from the kind of burgundy ponte, so I could get that cut out. And I've also got the pattern out for the pajamas, so I could get that cut out. What do you think? Or should we just sit and chat? Debbie says, are you going to be making the Gertie pants? All she needs is a bra pattern and you could be charming from top to toe. Um, honestly, I like them, but I probably wouldn't wear them that shape. I am much more. Do you want to see my lingerie patterns that I've got and that I buy? Because I've got a few. Lingerie. Lingerie. I like very specific shape underwear. I like balconette bras, and I like fairly skimpy knickers. And the charm patterns ones are lovely, but they're very large for my preference, and that's just my preference. No, you know, they're beautiful. Very glad that I've got them, but I don't think they're for me. Um, so I've still got the nutmeg in because I actually thought if I could make this work for me, I do like those as boxer, like these bottom ones as like sort of like boxer shorts. This would be the sort of thing that I would actually want to sleep in. It wouldn't be like supportive underwear kind of thing, but I like that a lot. I've got the Esme panties from Evie Lalou. She's got a sale on at the moment, 20% off of everything, I think. I think it's still on. I really like these, and there's lots of variations that you can do for these. I think these are probably going to end up being the first pair of underwear that I make. And I will do it at some point. I know I keep banging on about it, but I will. I've got a whole box full of stuff, haven't I? So, and then these are the ones that I very much doubt I will ever make, but they are absolutely beautiful. Well, actually, this one I probably will make, and again, for the same reason as the Colette Nutmeg, I really like those tap shorts. I think they're gorgeous, but they would be the kind of thing that I would sleep in. And then I've got these two Simplicity by Madeline ones. They don't go up to my size bra wise. And they aren't really my shape bra wise, but I think they're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So, and then I've got a load more from Evie Lalou. And I have the Emerald Erin. What's that? What's the one with the Black Beauty? The Black Beauty bra. And I have the Boylston bra from Orange Lingerie. And I kind of fancy trying the Longline bra from Orange Lingerie as well. But again, that would just be because I want to try it as a project rather than something that would be actually something that I would wear a lot. Because as I said in my plans that scare me video, I don't like wearing strapless bras, even long line ones. I find they don't give me the push up that I want. I mean, we talked about this last week. I mean, I've got nice boobs. I paid a lot of money for them, so you know, I've got nice boobs. But I'm 43, so you know, I like it when they're kind of like up, like pushed up. So that's why I'm thinking corsets for the dresses that I want to make. And again, not necessarily like a full spusk front corset, maybe like a corselet. And I know Gertie's done a couple of those as well, if that will give me the lift that I want. So yeah. That was a really long-winded way of saying yes, I do like the new charm pattern. I think it's really, really cute. It's just not for me. Itchy nose. Itchy nose. Jojo says, ooh, jacket is lush. I missed that one earlier, didn't I? Caroline says to Anna, meant to earlier, but life is being a total bitch at the moment. Many hugs for you, Caroline. Anna says chat. It's probably going to be chat, to be fair, because I like sitting and chatting with you guys. It's like hanging out with sewing friends. And I know I get distracted if I start actually trying to like do something. Unless it's show you fabric, because we always like fabric fondling, don't we? So yeah, I do enjoy sitting and chatting with you guys. And then It's nice, like, once we've finished, then I'll sort of, like, turn some music on or put a TV show on and then do all the things that I was meant to do during the chat. Elena says tracing patterns is also paper crafting. It is. I do like. I was very impressed with myself. I stuck together 60 pages of PDF yesterday. I do like the way that Gertie does her PDFs. Actually, this is the first PDF of Gertie's that I've stuck together ever, and it's the first PDF I've stuck together in 4 years, 4 years. Definitely haven't done one here. But I do like that she has cut lines, so you don't end up with a giant, great big sheet. You can cut it all out. I am still hoping I'm going to be able to get the cape with hood out of the 4.5 meter and the hemispheric coat out of the 4.5 meters of fabric I've got there to make my like hood coat hood combo. I'm still hoping I've got enough for that. Words are hard, so yeah. But yeah, you're right, Eleanor. It is totally paper crafting. So yeah, if I do end up doing that, then yeah. Anna says sending hugs to Caroline, and she can relate. Katie says, hi Shine Peeps, long time watcher, first time joiner inner. I'm tracing out and cutting out my wearable toile of the McCall 7537. Awesome dress! Totally awesome. Awesome dress. You might want to have a look at the neckline. I find that it gapes, so I ended up having to take a wedge out of the neckline. But other than that, awesome dress. That if you've already cut it out though, don't worry, because when I first did mine, I wasn't going to put the lacing cord on, and then it gaped. So I was just like, so that's why I put the lacing cord on, and it was just like, this hides it. This looks good. So yeah, there's ways around it. But yeah, that would be my only advice with that one, is double check the neckline, because it can gape. Debbie says, as I got older, my pants are getting bigger. I've heard them called Harvest Festival pants. It's all safely gathered in. I love it. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm still in the little. I've actually I haven't had and ordered any new underwear for. Do you know the last time I bought myself underwear was when I broke up with Wilson last year? I went to Marks and Spencer's and was determined to find some fancy underwear for myself, just to buy it for myself. And I did. And I really like it. It's a Rosie Huntingly Whittingley, whatever her name is, silk red set. It's beautiful. It took me forever to find the size. I ended up having to buy a 32 double G, which sounds ridiculous. And is, yeah, just like, what? But that was the one that fit the best. I like it, but I don't love it, because it's just kind of like boobs rather than like any kind of like shape enhancing. But yeah, a year ago, I haven't bought myself underwear for a year. So I got served an advert. I am an advertiser's dream. I got served an advert on Facebook for Savage by Fenty. I was like, you know what? Let's have a look. Let's just have a look. And then they were doing an offer of 2 bras for £24. So £12 per bra. And I was just like, oh, okay, because that was more than half price. And so I've bought 4, and then I've bought 2 pairs of matching underwear for each bra, and they're going to be delivered, I think, tomorrow or the day after. Now, I have no idea if this is going to fit me or not. I've ordered my regular size because it says it's true to size, and I looked at the sizing chart and it looks like they should fit me. I have no idea if they're gonna. I really touch wood that they do. I really, really hope that they do. But yeah, I was just like, well, like, you know, I haven't bought myself new underwear for a very long time. And I think I told you a couple of weeks ago, our washing machine packed up, and we have been kind of having to eke out and hand wash, which is fine. But it got to the point where it was like, all of us were down to our last pair of underwear. It was just like, this is not good. They're not coming for another week. So yeah. Where did I get to with the chat? Diane says Madeline's studio is in downtown Philadelphia. She holds frequent workshops. Ah, cool. The styles that she drafts are absolutely beautiful, but they're not really big boob friendly. But then I have found, like, even with Fenty, Savage by Fenty, there was only very few styles that were kind of like larger cup size friendly. And it's a bit annoying that they assume just because you have bigger boobs that you don't want this sort of super pretty or funky underwear, and you just like, no, full coverage bra for you. It's like, but I want pretty. So yeah, I'm really hoping we fit. We'll see. If not, they'll go back, and that's another company that I know that I can't buy from online, and even more of a push to start making my own. Nimue says, hello everyone. Got distracted by real life chat for the first part. No worries. Hello, Nimue. Julie's here. Hi peeps, how are you all doing today? Very well, Julie. How are you? Elena says, just waiting on my courage to print and put together the McCaw's 6800 pattern. It's only 2 sets of 60 pieces of A4. Wow, that's a big I remember tracing that one off. I think that was the other thing. I traced off the shortest size and then realized that I probably wasn't going to like the shortest size, and then realized how much work it was going to be to trace off the next longest size, and I was just like, I'm going to make a short jacket, and I shouldn't have done. I should have put the work in, because I'm now going to have to go back in and retailor my jacket that I made from that pattern. But yeah, good luck with that. Julie says, are we doing anything today, or are we just waffling? Well, I mean, there's 100% chance of waffle. The actual percentage chance of anything else happening fluctuates. Yeah. Katie says, thanks for the tips. We'll adjust and have eyelets in my stash if necessary. Yeah, honestly, Katie, the first sort of 3 or 4 that I've made, I have put the eyelets and the lacing in to hide that. And then the parrot dice one that I made last year, the blue parrot dice one, I did amend the neckline, and it was literally as simple as taking out like a 1/2 inch wedge from this side and bringing it down to nothing this side. It was the simplest alteration, and I really should have just done it previously, many iterations previously. But yeah. MJB says, evening peeps. Hello. Oh, I am such an idiot. Half an hour in. New Patreon peeps to say hello to. I need to get, because MJB is a Patreon peep, need to get back into the habit. Right. I have lots of lovely new Patreon peeps to say hello to. Marie Mitchell, there was 4 of these from last week that I remembered like 2 hours in. So Marie Mitchell, Aldina Rotondaro, hopefully I got that right, Amal, Yannick Foster, Luna, Kathleen, who is here, Claire Coleman, and the very lovely Jojo Brooke Flat Battery Makes, the little wrench that you can see there, have all joined the Patreon peeps in the last 2 weeks. So thank you very much to every single one of you. You have made my day, and thank you very much. So yeah. Julie says, hi to MJ. Jojo says, I'm a big knicker girl. TMI, apple catchers all the way. Really like the Gertie pants. Gin and Pin says, morning peeps, I'll be cleaning and oiling my sewing machine heading for my baby. I accidentally moved the tension wheel, so we'll have to reset it before sewing. Good luck with that. It'll be fine. Kathleen says, I know when to do laundry when I'm down to 1 pair of clean underwear. Yeah. The Crafting Gamer says to Jojo, I love vintage dresses myself from 1935 to 1960. Yeah, that's a good era. There's some good styles in there. Julie says, you need a washboard takes all the smudge out of clothes, remove unwanted spots, even if it's acrylic paint, without ruining the fabric. Yeah, we did a little bit of hand washing because we had to. But finally, the washing machine is fixed. Which feels very nice. I left my juice over here, so I'm going to go get that. Okay. I've moved my pattern pieces further away because, again, we can just see me knocking something over and ending up with squash all over my hemispheric coat. That would be bad. Don't want that. Julie says, I have a glass front washboard that I use once in a while, and it's the most effective washing machine I've ever had. Nice. Right. Righty. So my cousin has announced that she's coming over from Australia on the 2nd of June to the 23rd of June, which is very exciting. She's in the Peeps group. She's the one that always posts the funnies, Shelley. So that's going to be good. Hopefully she can come down here. It would be very nice to see her. Big Bird is going out to see James on the 10th of June, and then Ree is going to see James in Kuala Lumpur in August. And I'm still not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to afford to go this year. I'm thinking I want to go. I 100% want to go, but I'm thinking it would be much more sensible to go next year, because we're also going to Croatia this year, which I am very excited about, because I haven't been to Croatia since 2019. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Going to be good. Jojo says to the crafting gamer, same. Well, anything from 1880s to 1970s, if honest. See, I like the 1860s or 1850s, the romantic era, where it's the big bell-shaped round skirts rather than the bustle eras. Like, I love the bustle eras. I think they look amazing, but I want like the big kind of bell skirt kind of thing. I think they'd be awesome. And I mentioned that in the year of projects that scare me video, didn't I? And lots of you were saying that my idea for tying up the hoops was not going to work. So I'd either have to make the bottom hoops zip on and offable, which is a possibility, or just make two hoop skirts, one for the butterfly gown and then one for the 1860s ensemble that I want to try. So yeah. And I do love the 70s as well, which is very true. 60s, I like early 60s, and the more kind of like 50s leaning 60s stuff. The kind of mod Mary Quant stuff is amazing, but it would look awful on me. So yeah. Yes. Elena says, so before your cousin will be visiting, are you going to buy the whole of Spotlight? Get Shelley to smuggle it over for me. I've got to stop looking at websites like that, and you guys have got to stop showing me stuff, because I'm just immediately like, I want that. Did anyone check out Bobby Duke Art's channel after I mentioned him? I want that. He makes me giggle so much. He's so talented. Yeah, I don't need any more fabric, guys. I really don't need any more fabric. I want it, but I don't need it. I need to work on what I've got here. I need to go through my stash and work through the things that I already own. Right. Yeah. A Life Like Vera says to Jojo and the Crafting Gamer, love vintage style and making era of choice is 1935 to 1943-ish. 30s did Hollywood glamour to die for. Ooh, yeah, all those bias cut drape gowns. Like, was it Vianette? Oh, what was the name of the person that sort of like pioneered the bias cut gown? It begins with a V, I'm sure it does. One of you guys will know. Julie says to Jojo and Gamer, I'm more of a 1900s turn of the century fashion lover. That is also a lovely era. The noughties and the tens from the 1900s. The Gilded Age American TV show, but also that that's bustle dresses, isn't it? See, I love bustle dresses. I want the bell-shaped gowns. I want to be Scarlett O'Hara. In fashion sense only, no other way. By the way, that was the, yeah. Vintage fashion, not values. I mean, I think that goes without saying. I think you guys realise that, but just in case anybody wants to try and misconstrue my words, yeah. Julie says, although I love flared pants, yeah. Noe says, feel extra old-fashioned over here. I have a Kirtle style dress on my wishes. Ooh, yes. Yeah, did anyone watch Morgan Donna's making her outside kind of barn thing that she did? And she was just like, oh, I can't pick just one era. There's so many things that I like from all of them. And she's not wrong. I mean, I think it was Asta Darling as well, who's another, if you don't follow her, you really should, who was just like, we live in an era where we and a country, or at least I live in an era and in a country where I can wear whatever the fluff I want and nobody can say anything, because I you know, like, I can wear whatever I want, and that is incredibly, like, freeing. And I love watching other people kind of discover their style and just be like, oh yeah, I want to take this bit from this era, so like the kirtle, and then I want to do this bit from this era. That's another thing that Mariah Patty hasn't done one of these for a long time, but she is in the process of making a really elaborate wedding gown and bridesmaids dresses for her wedding. It's the Danielle de Barbarac from Ever After, which is another awesome film, gown, and it's just amazing watching how she's putting the amount of effort and work and stuff that she's putting into making this gown. But she does digital lookbooks and modernizing different eras, and she did that for herself for a while, and then she opened up Patreon and offered that as a reward on her highest tier. And I am literally poised for her to open it up, because she had so many people sign up. She's like, I want to get through them all before I commit to more, and if she commits to more again. But the minute she's like opens that up, I'm just gonna be like, yep, I want 70s pirate, please, and 1870s as well as 1970s pirate. I want her to make me a capsule collection from that, because I just think it would be awesome. And I think the way she kind of like takes out elements from different styles, like her Viking one that she did, just watching her animate and draw that faux fur collar that she did was unbelievable. But the kind of the twist that she put on those very, very, very old garments, and to make it, give it a modern twist, which is like, love this. I go back and watch those videos frequently. I love them. I don't necessarily have the volume on, but I'll watch her drawing them in the background. So yeah, if you don't follow Mariah Patty, then you really should. She's another one that I support on Patreon. My Patreon's grown, so I've got Rachel Maxey. She's just launched hers. Mariah Patty, Gertie, Bernadette Banner, Angela Clayton, and I know there's another one. Bianca, Closet Historian. Her name went through my head already, and I was just like, I've said that out loud. And Christine McConnell. But Christine McConnell's like $2, and I think some of them are like $5. Gertie's is the most expensive, but I really appreciate the amount of patterns that come with that. I think that's brilliant. So yeah. The crafting gamer says to Jojo, I do love those dresses too and intend to sew Victorian, but started to knit stockings, thin yarn and 1.5mm needles. Ooh, good luck with that. Simone says, well, 2 weeks and 2 failed dating prospects. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. I think I've just given up on trying to be sensible, and I have all my eggs in my bob basket at the moment. So yeah. Julie says, Bobby Duke is so funny. Yes. Julie also says to Simone, all of a sudden they'll be there, the one that you will not live without for the rest of your life. Exactly. It only takes one. You only have to meet one. The trouble is, it depends how lucky you are as to how many frogs you get to kiss before you meet that one. So yeah. MJB says no fabric for me this year except for 50 meters of velvet and 15 meters of lining I need for my daughter's formal dress for the end of the year. She wants the McCall's 8303 Eek. Let's have a look at what you're going to be doing. McCall's 8303. Oh wow. I love Yaya Han. Yes. Yes. I think I might need that actually. Actually, there were quite a few patterns in the new McCall's release that I've added to my list. I might genuinely get over the $75 amount, rather than just sort of like putting place fillers in, which I had been the last time they did a offer, which was Black Friday, and I haven't placed any. I did get somebody email me and just say, I want to buy you patterns. And I said, thank you, but no, thank you. And then they were like, for goodness sake, stop being difficult. Let me buy you something. I was like, okay, sorry. Like, yeah. Elena says the amount of fabric that goes into those bell skirts. Yeah. Life Like Vera says here, vintage style, not vintage values, aka Dandy Wellington. Exactly. I mean, I think you guys know me well enough to know that that is 100% my view. Because when I made that green velvet coat, I kept joking that I was going to Scarlett O'Hara the crap out of the curtains because they were curtains, pagnette, whatever they call them, and the costuming in Gone with the Wind is amazing, but the film itself, whilst it has been one of my favorites, like it just. But yeah, you guys know me well enough to know, obviously, vintage fashion, not vintage values. But it does bear saying, just in case. Katie says, was so jealous of Morgan's hut. Can definitely relate to the I want a bit of everything. Yeah, I mean, like, we live in an era where we can do that. So why not? Jojo says to Nimue, you're good. I have Tudor and medieval on your list too. Nimue says, I want Morgan Donna's embroidered blue dress. Drafting a kirtle that fits seems like a good start. That's a pretty dress. I like her sun-bleached one that she did with the plants as well. That one's gorgeous. Nimue says to Jojo, my oldest plan is to have a historically plausible Rowena Ravenclaw. Needs all the research because last turn of the millennium is tricky. Sewing dreams are the best dreams. Definitely. Julie says, I've not seen any of the YouTubers lately. I'm deep into TikTok at the moment. Yeah, that's worryingly addictive. Anna says, I already follow Mariah. Yeah. Simone says, literally could write a Netflix comedy special with the types of men I attract, but thanks to Julie and it's all a process of numbers. Yes. Yeah, I thought I had dating disaster stories, Simone, but then when you put your one on the one of the waffles on Patreon, it was just like, wow, you win. Julie says, my prince once in a while forgets that he's no longer a frog, but well, so do I. Frogs, but well, so do I. Oh, yeah, and that's the nice thing. You get to remind each other. Like, yeah. Sarah says, I get so inspired by the style era cause of the people I watch, but I get intimidated and sad because I compare my time makes to theirs. Yeah, I think what's the phrase, comparison is the thief of joy. And I have to say, like, as you guys know, I've copied things and people that I've seen in the sewing community because I've just been like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, I need that for myself. And I don't think I've ever once been 100% happy with the outcome, because whilst it's a beautiful thing and looks amazing on the other person, it's not me. So I definitely have got to the point where I've developed my own style, and I did have a bit of a crisis of confidence recently, actually. And it wasn't because of something a guy said, but I had been talking to the squaddy recently, and he was talking about this date he'd gone on with this girl. And he was just like, "Oh, yeah, I got properly catfished." And I was like, "Oh, really? Yeah, that's happened to me a couple of times." Although I've actually not met up with my catfishes. My friends have worked out that they're catfishes ahead of time. But he was like, "Yeah, so no, she turned up. She was wearing this long flowery dress." And I was just like, "Oh." I was like, "Oh." And then I suddenly started, like, thinking about it and thinking about the things that I like wearing and what I feel comfortable in, and then looking through clothing and stuff that, I've taken photographs of in some of the twirls from last year and some of the twirls from this year. And I suddenly started thinking, am I old fashioned? Like, am I like, am I making myself look older? Like, am um, I mean, I know I'm not fashionable. I'm not remotely fashionable. And I'm fine with that because I would much rather wear things that are comfortable for me and my style and things that I enjoy wearing. And, the couple of times I've been to salsa, I've worn a dress. I've worn a bright, colourful printed dress with a big floaty skirt on it. And like majority of the other people there's a few that were wearing dresses, but the majority of other people there were in jeans and t-shirts or like sparkly tops or something like that, and they look amazing as well. But I just know that that's not me. For as many of you were saying from the lookbook, when I was wearing the grey jeans to show off the ziggy jacket, I did that strategically because I thought that style of jacket would look best with skinny jeans, and I stick by that. I do agree with some of you as well that it will look really cool over some of my dresses, like a real nice juxtaposition. Got to love that word. Um, but yeah, the skinny jeans, like those grey ones, I've got a pair of grey and black ones and blue jeans. The blue ones are a slightly bigger size. The grey and the black are actually a size smaller, and I haven't been able to fit into those for ages. And putting them on and having them be slightly too baggy at the waist was just like, oh, this is very cool. But the other thing as well is, whilst they're meant to be super high waisted, because I have such a long torso, they don't quite go up as high as I would want them to. And I don't feel overly comfortable or me in them. I would much rather have a floaty floral dress on. So yeah, I'm going to these salsa classes what looks like a very dressed up style, and it's not actually, it's just my everyday style. But yeah, talking to the squaddy when he was like, yeah, she was wearing this long flowery dress, and I was just like, you've seen the photos that I put up on the dating app, right? Because he had. I was like, okay. And we were talking again, and I said something along the lines. I was like, I don't think you're gonna kind of like my style. And he's like, well, why is that? And I told him, and he was like, oh God, have I put my foot in it? And I was like, well, no, you're allowed to like and not like what you do and don't like. That's totally fine. It's just, um, you know, for me, it is all flowery dresses because that's what brings me joy. And I know people are calling it dopamine dressing, like all the bright colors and things like that. And I don't necessarily think that it has to come from like bright primary colors to be dopamine dressing, or making yourself look like like the block of color, or shades of one color head to toe. I don't necessarily think that has to be the definition for dopamine dressing. I think dopamine dressing is when you put things on that bring you joy, like this. I love this outfit. Now, this pink and this pink don't really go together. I actually really want a blue cardigan. I've got a blue jumper that would go with this, but I want a cardigan. So yeah, mum's list of things to make or knit me is already very long. I've got like 4 or 5 projects worth of wool in the cupboard. But yeah, I did have a little bit of a crisis of confidence when I was looking at myself, and I was like, am I aging myself? Do I look older for the way I dress? And then it was just like, actually, do you know what? Even if I do, I love what I wear. I love what I make. I feel confident in it. And whilst it's not a unique style, it's a unique combination to me. And yeah. So sorry, that was a very long-winded way of answering a question, wasn't it? But I do think because sorry, it was where was it? Where was it? Yeah, Sarah was saying that she gets intimidated and sad because she compares herself to other people's dressing and clothing makes that she admires, but then you feel you get intimidated because you compare yourself to them. This was a very long-winded waffle and way of saying I completely get what you're saying, and I finding your style and working out what your uniform is isn't the easiest thing. But once you've found what you genuinely feel happy in and what you genuinely enjoy wearing, then I think that's where you start to look awesome, because regardless of what's in fashion, regardless of what everybody else is wearing, if you're wearing something that genuinely brings you joy, you feel and look more confident in it. At least that's my experience so far. And yeah, like I say, I have crisis of confidence every now and again. And I mean, I'm not remotely fashionable, but I am happy. Like, I mean, we all know I love clothes, and we all know I love making clothes, and we all know I love color, and we all know I love print. And I mean, if you didn't know that about me, then just have a look at my background because that will tell you everything that you need to know. But once I kind of worked that out and had stopped wearing what I should be wearing and was wearing what I enjoyed wearing, then I started feeling so much better about myself. But I appreciate that that's not the easiest thing to do, Sarah. So, yeah, um, get inspired, enjoy all of the stuff that you're looking at, enjoy everyone's content and looking at it, but don't let it don't let it take away from you and your confidence, because just because you don't have the same time or skill set that these other people do doesn't mean to say that you won't ever be able to get to a point where you're making stuff that you absolutely love nearly every single time. So yeah, hopefully that was a long-winded kind of like waffle, Sarah, but yeah, comparison is the thief of joy. You are perfect as you are. Carol says, good morning from New York. Good morning. Julie says to Sarah, oh no, you are you and you are your own sewing journey, not theirs. Exactly. Jojo says to Nimoy, absolutely, we need historical adequate sewing retreat and I'll do Godric Gryffindor. If I could find somewhere that had enough space. Because the reason why I do bag retreats is because I need to have enough people to make it financially viable for everybody, including me and the place that I'm hiring. And bags are finite; they're small. But just imagine if we had a big enough space and everyone could have like a Project Runway style cutting table, like a cutting table like this. Oh gosh, if I ever win the lottery, I am going to buy somewhere that's giant and can have like a huge sewing room with like 5 of these tables in it, and everyone can bring their own stuff down and we can all work together. That would be amazing. So this is why I need to win the lottery. Nimue says to Jojo, count me in, just give me a lot of preparation time. Yep. Crafting Gamer says to Sarah, remember that YouTube is cheating on time since they cut and paste. Oh, absolutely. That's the other thing. Yeah. Like, I have mixed feelings about Kathy Hay, but she is doing a velvet coat at the moment. And the last video that she's done is a very kind of like, look at all the problems I'm having. And this is why this is not going to get made. Like, this is why I'm going to do one thing this year, kind of thing. So, yeah, definitely, remember that, Sarah. Julie says to Gamer, preach. And Debbie says, is Chi going into your phone at night and deleting the decent men so she can keep you all to herself? I think there's just a lack of decent men, to be honest. I do have my we've nicknamed them with the wanker doll, Jojo and Erica, because I clearly just have I don't know why, I'm just like, oh, everyone's lovely, and kind of like just got this thing in my head that like people are genuine, and I think it's because I'm that way. at least yeah. So I'm like, well, I'm being who I am. I'm saying what I mean. So surely these other people are as well. And both Jojo and Erica are like, no, give me the photos and the chat and let's have a look. And they're like, this one's good. This one, no. This one is a catfish. Because there was one I was talking to for like nearly 2 days before I realized that it wasn't actually him in the photos. But we were having the best conversation. But he like put up, and he keeps coming up. He keeps matching with me, and I'm just like, dude. So I report him every single time. So yeah, but no, I don't think she's doing that. And Caroline says, better to be stylish than a fashion slave. Yeah, yeah. Life in Vera says, hey, you look fabulous. Never let anyone tell you otherwise. I wear vintage style 24/7 and get the odd look, and I'm 57. Quite frankly, don't give a fig anymore. Yes. Yeah, it was just one of those ones where it was just like, I just had this like mini meltdown for about half an hour. It was like, am I old fashioned? And then it was like, and what if I am? These things suit me. So yeah, yeah. Caroline says to Life of Vera, yep, my preference is definitely pre-Raphaelite, and I'm the same age. The crafting gamer says it's all about you feel pretty, not what others think is pretty. Exactly. Jojo's laughing at Debbie's comment about chi, because yes, it definitely would be something she would do. Gin and Pin says, my favourite pattern at the moment is the Vogue 8146. I've made a wearable toile of the dress and I plan a couple more and at least one jacket. Feel comfortable in these styles. I've just, as I've lost my belly fat. Let me have a look at that pattern. Let's see. Vogue. Vogue. Vogue, Vogue, Vogue. 8146. 8146. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I like that. I like that jacket as well. I could definitely get on board with that jacket if it's skimmed at the right level on me for my waist. Because again, I have a tiny waist, and I got told off a couple of times by people just being going, "Stop banging on about how small your waist is," and it's like, but I'm not showing off. I'm stating a fact, and I find it helpful to see and to hear what other people are when they're talking about their makes and what size they went for and what measurements they have. I find it helpful as a reference guide. So it's not like I'm going, look at this. It's like, this is me and this is the size I made. And yeah, so I like my waist. I want to show it off. I'm sitting cross-legged. Yeah. We all called it, didn't we? We all called it. We all knew that I was going to spend the afternoon chatting to you, not actually doing anything. So, just knocked the table. Julie says, Vera, you're just in front of your time. Fashion is cyclical, so no matter what style you're wearing, you're always out in front. Rachel Lynn says, I think you wear very, very modern flowers, and good morning. Thank you, Rachel Lynn, and good morning to you too. Linda says, good morning from Seattle. Wow, good morning. It's the middle of the night there still. Caroline says, like the stream, folks. Yes, there's 137 of us and 48 likes. Please do like the stream. Redivy says, no, you don't look older. You have your own unique, beautiful style. Thank you. Yes. Nimue says, feeling comfortable and confident is much more important than adhering to fashion. Besides, the most aging thing over here are greige sneakers with all the bling. Yes. Anna says to Mim, thank you so much. Jane says, good afternoon, folks. Lovely to make and wear what gives you joy, whatever that is. Bought Tuaco magazine, fascinating the history of female artist clothing. Really appreciate the freedom today. Yeah. Sarah says, your video about making what I should be making hit home. Like you said, it's fine to remake your favorite TNTs because you know you like it and it was a revelation. Absolutely. If you've put all the hard work and effort into getting a pattern to fit you well and you love wearing it and you reach for it and you feel comfortable in it, make as many of the damn things as you want. You can, like, I mean, if you were making all of them in the same fabric, then obviously not. But like, just, yeah, like the 7537, that red fabric, the minute I saw it, it was just like, that is going to look awesome as that dress. Fit and flare, bishop sleeves, giant skirt. I'm so excited. Make the things that make you happy, because life is far too short to try and please everybody else. Make the things that you love. Jojo says, "Ah, Shan, I'm already way ahead of you, and I'm planning it all in my head." Nice. Is that the retreat? Is that the sewing retreats, Jojo? Me winning the lottery. Leggy Leslie says, "Make and wear whatever makes you happy. What other people think doesn't matter. Your makes are stunning, well made, and classic. Classic doesn't go out of fashion. Just be fabulous in what you make." Exactly. And Life in Vera says to Caroline, "I love that." And Julie says, "If you win the lottery, you need a castle with 2 ballrooms next to each other, one for fabric and notions and one for sewing all the things." Actually, I think I've told you guys there's a castle on the Isle. Well, it's an old house on the Isle of Wight, up near Ryde, between Ryde and Seaview. And it has a turret, has crenellations, has stained glass windows, has giant amount of land. So there's room for a swimming pool and a pool house, as well as giant studio. And yeah, if I win the lottery, I am buying that place because and it's got loads of basements that are completely untouched and unfinished, so you could like refurbish them all. And I am so having a cinema room that has a TARDIS as the entrance, and then there's going to be a place where there's a bookcase, which is actually a door into another secret room. I mean, if you are a wealthy person, if you're a millionaire and you don't have a room that is entered through a secret bookcase doorway, you're doing it wrong. So yeah. And I do play the lottery, so you know. Sarah says, "For me, it's finishing methods. I want them to look good inside and out, but I'm still learning techniques. I like linings, but sometimes making the garment twice feels like too much energy for me." Yeah, and you can French seam, you can pink. If pinking is good enough for Dior, you can pink, you can overlock. And as I've said many, many times, the only reason I don't overlock the inside of my woven garments is because I was terrified of my overlocker for so long. I have now got into the habit of bias binding and French seaming and fully lining everything. And that's just my personal preference. It doesn't mean to say that you have to do the same. That's the nice thing about sewing, is that you get to make up your rules and do it your way, however you want to. So yeah. Julie says, "I'm size way too big for comfort at the moment." But it is all flexible, Julie. It all changes. Caroline says, "Chat is what we need when we don't see anyone from one day to the next." Yes. Yes. I mean, it was very peoply when I went outside on Friday. Like, there was a lot of people. But it was really nice because everyone was just like, "Hi, what's your name?" And then just like dance. And, there was no like awkward chit chat or anything. So that was good. The crafting gamer says, "Reuse patterns that do fit you." Absolutely. MJB says, "I agree, Sarah. If I'd made a few TNTs this year, I wouldn't have 3 projects in the naughty corner at the moment." It's nice to try new things. And, I appreciate that if I just made one sort of type of thing over and over again, it could get very boring here. So I do try new things. But TNTs are wonderful for a reason. And if you reach for them and you wear them, then yeah. Nimue says, "The problem with fashions favouring a certain body type and us no longer using historical shape enhancing is that every other body type is screwed. I see so many 20-somethings at the library do themselves zero favours by trying to wear what's currently in. The individuals look so much more comfy and at ease." Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Natalie says, "Hey all, when people buy ready to wear, they buy similar things that they know they like. So why is it supposed to be different for sewing?" Very good point. Very, very good point. When I was buying stuff, as I've told you, I think many times, if I found something that I liked and it fit me, I bought it in every single color that it came in. Yeah. Julie says, "Ghost tours in the unfinished basements or D&D room, or the possibilities are endless." Like, yeah, I know, right? I'd so have a gaming room. Oh, that would be so cool. So cinema room, gaming room, like, like tabletop board gaming room. Also, the most epic, video gaming room. I would never leave the house. I would never, ever leave the house. Oh, yeah. Sarah says, "A bookcase door sounds very retro maxi. Just wait, it's probably in the works." I can imagine. I can imagine, and it definitely yeah, it definitely needs to happen. Jojo says, "Well, I live in a city smack bang in the centre of England with amazing travel links, and I'm surrounded by hotels set up for conferences with big rooms. Just saying, lol." Should we maybe try and, like, organise something for, like, a week before the dressmaker's ball? Elena says, "Sean, can I have some, dinner inspiration from you?" Ooh, we're having satay pork chops with broccoli, crispy broccoli this evening, and I'm very much looking forward to it. It's one of my favourites. Rachel Lynn says, "My daughter wants a bookcase door for her bedroom. We're trying to figure out how to get it to work. Her door doesn't have much clearance. It's next to the restroom." Yeah, they do need to be very well engineered. Could it open inwards? Instead, like have it framed as a bookcase on the outside that you push inwards. Eliza says, "Good morning from Ohio." Good morning. Debbie says, "Chatting is not doing nothing. It's still YouTube content." I know. I love my job. I love my job so much. I have the best job in the world, and it's all thanks to you guys. So, I mean, yay. Julie says, "My brain went into overdrive just imagining the possibilities of that basement. I want it." I know, right? I know. See, we'd be good rich people. A Life Like Vera says, "If I could have any type of room, it would be Newt's suitcase room full of fantastic beasts." That would be cool. Yeah, I want a dragon. I want a toothless. I mean, Shiana is basically a mini toothless. She just needs wings. She's got the right attitude. Debbie says, "I wish I could see Rachel Maxey's face when she saw how many Patreon followers she got. She deserves everyone, I can imagine." When I saw the post that she put up, it had 636 likes on it. And I can imagine, because I know when I put a post up, only about half of the people that follow, like pay and follow me on Patreon, like the posts and watch the posts. So I would imagine she has got so many. And I just really hope it's really freeing for her, because she's got so many great ideas that she wants to properly give time to, but also the schedule of like 3 Fridays a month is a lot. Um, and I really liked Bernadette Banner's kind of approach to it, which was when she was doing her Lady Sherlock. Although I know this nearly killed her, she said she, never worked as hard in her entire life as that one, but she sort of like did it in stages. And I kind of think that it would be, I think a core audience would be completely open to parts of, like a 3-part series of making a specific thing. So she didn't necessarily have to finish an entire project in a week, get it edited and uploaded like she's been trying to do. But like say, look, she could do the introduction video one Friday of like, this is the plans, this is the thing, this is how I'm going to tackle it, and then do the stages of making it over a month and give herself a month of grace to get this really elaborate project done. But that's how I'm planning on tackling some of my larger projects this year. But yeah, hopefully the Patreon has just given her so much more freedom. So yeah. Natalie says, "Barely ever leave the house and don't have any fun rooms, just messy rooms at Casa Natalie." Messy rooms are fine. I mean, I barely leave the house. This is my fun room. This is the room that I couldn't be without. This is the room that I would have to have wherever I go. for sure. For sure. For sure. Julie says, "We love you, babe." Oh, thank you. Rachel Lynn says, "An opening inward door is a good idea. My husband's an architect, so I'm sure he'll figure it out." Yeah, yeah. Put like a frame around the outside of the door that looks like the bookcase frame, and then just the actual like booky bit, not the actual frame of the bookcase, opens inwards. That would be mine. Look at me, like channeling my inner geeky architect. I always wanted to be an architect when I was growing up, actually. Wanted to be a marine biologist, architect, or Formula One driver. Elena says Pinterest has a massive amount of shelf doors for small spaces, or it's pushing all of them to me. You've expressed a small interest in that field, and now Pinterest is just like, here's all the things. I started a new board the other day on my Pinterest, which is favorite words. Because I had an experience recently that was serendipitous and serendipity, and I love that word. And it made me just sort of like, I came across it, and I've got now 21 pins on my favorite words one. So insolitus, being unusual or out of the ordinary, not familiar or unlike what is typically expected. I loved that. Astrophile, person who loves the stars. Vagary, an unpredictable instance, a wandering journey, a whimsical, wild, or unusual idea, desire, or action. I liked that one. Muraki, to do something with soul, creativity, or love, to put something of yourself into your work. Hodophile, one who loves to travel. Sophrosine, a healthy state of mind characterized by self-control, moderation, and a deep awareness of one's true self, resulting in true happiness. No cure, one who stays up late. Thalassophile, this is very specific to somebody at the moment, but true of me too. Lover of the sea, someone who loves the sea and the ocean. Thalassophile, that's a wonderful word. Soshin, practice of seeing life with wonder. I loved that. Marmaris, the shining surface of the ocean. Susurrus, whispering or rustling sound indicating indistinct sound of people whispering. Or the susurrus of the trees as well. Hopefully I'm getting these pronunciations slightly right. Coddywomple, to travel in a purposeful manner towards a vague destination. I loved that. Coddywomple, that was good. Hariath, a homesickness for a home to which you cannot return, a home which maybe never was. The nostalgia, the yearning, the grief for for the lost places of your past. It's a Welsh word. It's also the name of Erica's latest pattern. Quiescent, a quiet, soft-spoken soul. I loved that one. Quaintrell, a woman who emphasizes a life of passion expressed through personal style, leisurely pastimes, charm, and cultivation of life's pleasures. Quaintrell, I liked that a lot. Serendipity, recognized as one of the most beautiful words in the English language. Serendipity is defined as the occurrence of making a pleasant and desirable discoveries by pure accident. It's also deemed as one of the most difficult words to translate in English due to its whimsical and magical nature. Reverie, which has always kind of been a little bit tainted for me by Westworld. Absent-minded dreaming while awake, an abstracted state of absorption. Philiocalyst, a lover of beauty, someone who finds and appreciates beauty in all things. Don't know if I'm going to be able to pronounce this one. Citharism, the sound of the wind in the trees. Petrichor, that's another lavender and twine one. It's the smell of the earth after the rain. And apricity, because the apricot wallet as well. The warmth of the sun in winter. So it's just favorite words on my Pinterest, Julie, because Julie's asking to link to it. But yeah, Pinterest is Purdy Singleton. It's linked in all the descriptions of all of my videos, my Pinterest board, and it's my favorite words one. So yeah, love that. Love that. Nimue says to Rachel Lynn, I like to make stuff on YouTube, has done 2 different versions of bookcase doors, I believe. Maybe something there is helpful. Christine says, bonjour, Sean and Peeps. Finally getting a break in the weather today. Only minus 13 degrees centigrade. For the past 2 days, it went down to minus 41. So what's up today? That is cold. That is very cold. I'm sitting and chatting today. Oh, look, there's a bunch of you following me on Pinterest now. I'm getting all the notifications. I have quite a few Pinterest boards that hopefully you guys will find interesting. But that word one, I've just, yeah. But so now I've been saving all those words. This is my point, because Elena was saying that she keeps getting shown bookcase shelf doors. Now that I've pinned all those words, all that Pinterest is doing now is like, here's some more words for you. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. Rachel Lynn says to Nimoy that she will have a look at the channel. Julie says, I've not uploaded anything for way too long, but I need energy for filming. Winters just take the filling out of me. Yeah, you're allowed to hibernate in winter, 100%. I would if I could. Oh, that'd be amazing. Or follow the sun around the world. Nimue says, I've gotten so behind on Patreon. I missed voting yet again, but would have gone for the same direction. Was about to suggest a dirndl for September as well, for all the obvious reasons. It hadn't even occurred to me until Claire pointed that out, Nimue. So yeah, I'm going to be doing my Birder dirndl in September. Kathy says, good morning from Pennsylvania. Good morning. Rachel Lynn says, my favourite word is copacetic. It's all good. Yeah, I like that word too. I like that word a lot. Mum and Pop Quilt Shop says, good morning from Nova Scotia, Canada. We had negative 43 degrees centigrade temperature for 2 days. That was a deep freeze. Yes. Jane says, favourite word, crepuscular, the fading light, almost twilight. Yeah, I like that one. There's also, I think I've told you guys about this one before. There's a website called Free Rice, which is like a word game. I find that wonderful. I don't particularly like the word because it's not the most beautiful word, but bucolic means countryside or pastoral. And we were playing Cranium, and Mum and her friend as well were absolutely convinced it was something to be like stomach related and being sick. It's like, no, trust me, it's pastoral. And we got the point. But yeah, Free Rice is another really, really fun website I really like. Heather says, yeah, I was trying on my Ritas yesterday and could see some fit issues. I'm curious to see how Shan fits and makes hers. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Lots of Lynn has been giving me lots of advice. It sounds like I'm going to have to lengthen the bodice an awful lot. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Julie says, could you share the board? Got to go get food for tonight. Like I say, it's listed. My Pinterest is listed in the description of all my videos. MJB says my favorite is petrichor, the smell of rain, and it's the smell of rain on dry earth. Like it's the earth has been dry for a while and there hasn't been rain, so it's the smell of rain on that's it's quite specific. But yeah, I love that word. Nathy says, yikes, it was minus 20 in Toronto the other day. Can't imagine minus 43. No, me either. MJB says, haha, snapshot. Did I say petrichor at the same time you did? Elena says, I get lost on your Pinterest every time. Sorry. Nia says, I'm here watching retrospectively, big pants and no underwires for this call sign. I'm about half an hour behind. Nia, I love you. You're awesome. Mom and Pop Quilt Show says, I feel you on the temperature, Christine. Christine says, haha, following on Pinterest. Nice. Mom and Pop says, it was cold to Natalie. Yes. Julie says, you're farther south than me. Yes. And I still want to hibernate. Nimue says, one of my favourite words in English is shenanigans. Ah, me too. I love shenanigans. And conniptions. I love conniptions as well. And I don't know if conniptions is a real word or a Calvin and Hobbes made up word. Because that's where I first heard of conniptions was in the Calvin and Hobbes comic book strips. But conniptions and shenanigans. Debbie says one of my favorite words is discombobulated. Yes. Oh, I saw somebody. Oh, was it? Did somebody put it in the Peeps group or was it just on Facebook? But there was an airport, and I think it might be in Canada, but I'm not 100% sure. But it has a recombobulation area after you've been through and you've had to like take your belt off and your jewelry off and your shoes off and your socks off and like you're completely discombobulated. They actually have a sign for a recombobulation area, which I loved. I just thought that was brilliant. Mom and Pop Quilt Show says heart and Nimue can relate. MJB says that's one of mine too, Nimue. It's in my email address. Shenanigans. I love shenanigans. Christine says it started the deep cold with snow squalls on Thursday night. I will share on Facebook group a little post I found on TikTok that we had in Montreal. Brr. Brr. Yeah. I mean, I don't dislike the cold if it's just cold or lightly snowing on you. But if it's like gale force winds or wet and cold, I'm not. I don't want that. No. Loads of you are following me on Pinterest. I apologize now for the rabbit holes. And if you don't like swear words, don't go into my favorite quotes board because there is a lot of swear words in there. Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't mind the cold as long as I'm appropriately dressed for it and have somewhere to go and warm up and drink all of the hot chocolate, my body weight in hot chocolate to recover. But when it's windy and cold outside, no, I want to hibernate. The crafting gamer says, I live in Denmark and we have sunshine today. Nice. Another person from Denmark. Welcome. Nimue says, I checked and conniption is known at least since the early 19th century, probably around since the 18th century. Awesome. Awesome. So it isn't just a Calvin and Hobbes-ism, but that is where I first saw conniptions for the first time. And I love it. It's a wonderful word. I just love the English language. Well, I mean, not some of the ones I've got in there aren't even English. Some of them are different languages as well. But yeah, language is fascinating. So, yeah. Christine says, don't worry, Sean, everyone's bitching about the cold. Yeah. But then from the other side of things, I don't like being too hot without being able to regulate my temperature for that. Like when we were in Saudi Arabia, it was 45 degrees in the shade as well. And because that's where Dad had the thermometer set up, it was in the shade in the garden by the pool. And it was 45 degrees. But that was the thing. We had air conditioning and a pool. And so I could regulate my temperature that way. But if I actually had to live in 45-degree heat and work in 45-degree heat, I would be useless. Absolutely useless. I mean, you obviously, you don't work in you do a lot more at night and things like that. But at night, it was still well into the mid-30s, 35 degrees at night. It was a dry heat as well, which was much more bearable. I think if that had been a humid heat, I would have struggled and I would have looked like Monica. My hair would have been like this. So, yeah. The crafting gamer says, for me, cold weather and weather changes is so painful. Ooh, yeah. Christine says, summertime, we have AC or a pool. We have very humid summers here. Yeah, for as much as I moan about the fact that we don't have hot summers in the UK, we have very pleasant weather for the most part. We have a very kind of even temperate climate that is quite pleasant to be in most situations. I know the last couple of summers when we've been going up to like nearly 40 degrees and the entirety of the UK is just grinding to a halt. And there's all these other countries that are like, that's just a Tuesday. What are you whining about? We're not set up for it. And our houses are built to retain heat. So when it gets really hot outside and we have no air conditioning and no pool, it's like, oh, this is miserable. But yeah, yeah. Um, Carol says, I've been saying there is no such thing as bad weather, only inappropriate clothing a lot lately. Went outside yesterday morning and it was 9 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 12 degrees centigrade. Wow. Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, as a human, we are very adaptive. And as long as we are appropriately clothed for the climate that we're in, then we'll be fine. But it's the extremes of climate shifts when you live in, like I say, when you live in a country that's not adapted for them. Like for us in the UK, we struggled with the really, really high humid heat wave that we've had for the last couple of years because we're just not adapted for it. We're really not. It's the same if we get like an inch of snow, our entire country grinds to a halt. And we know snow. It's not like it's unheard of, but we get more than like a dusting of snow, and the entire country's just like schnare. What's the oh my god schnare the weasel? I need to find the oh my god schnare weasel because he's awesome. Schnare. Yeah. That's the entirety of the UK anytime we get more than a dusting of snow. His little face! Oh my gosh, Schneer! I love that little weasel, he's so cute. Yeah. But, I mean, like, we are just not, as a country, set up for any kind of extreme of weather. It's just really sad because we get them and more frequently with what's going on in the world at the moment as well. So, yeah. MJB says, I can do cold in winter. I object to it snowing in summer as it did in my part of Australia the other day. Yeah, I would object to that too. It's not, no, that's just not allowed. Mm, yeah, yeah, definitely. Sorry, my brain cannot compute snow in Australia in summer. I mean, I know you have mountains and I know you have snow on some mountains, but yeah, yeah. Mm, yeah. Eliza says, I'm such a goof. Did Pinterest recently change? Can't find boards. Um, Pass. I think if you find me, then it should come up with a list of boards under my name. Maybe it comes because it sometimes has pins and then boards next to it, so you have to click on boards to see those, because otherwise you just get all of my pins. And like I say, for anybody that doesn't want to see swear words, don't go into my favorite quotes page. You have been warned. Oh, yes. I've got a Muka inspired Art Deco lady embroidery, and it's like all red hair, floating gowns, and like the Art Deco frame around it. And I want to embroider that onto a sweatshirt with the I don't spew profanities, I enunciate them properly like an effing lady. No, I don't spew profanities like a sailor. I enunciate them properly like an effing lady because that tickles me, and I know it's not going to be for everybody, but it does make me giggle. So, yes. Carol says, I've been in London during heat waves. Not fun. Cousins' weddings where they ran out of Perrier was quite memorable. Oh, yeah. Ouch. I remember in the early 2000s, we had like a proper heat wave in London. And again, I was in a Victorian house, so really high ceilings. Um, but I was also living on a very busy road. One side, I was on Buckingham Palace Road, so one of the busy roads in that particular area. And then the back of the house, I had a balcony opening out onto a tiny little garden square that was a lot quieter. And so I had all the doors open, the balcony doors open, the bathroom window open, so that there was some kind of through breeze going through, and just cooking, like actually cooking, to the point where it was like me and my friend were trying to find Lidos that we could go to swim in because we were that hot, and it was people soup. It was so busy, so busy. So yeah, I remember that hot summer in London. That wasn't fun. We should have just gone to the swimming pool at the Serpentine in Hyde Park, thinking about it, but again, that would have been really busy. And also, like, yeah, swimming in water where I can't see the bottom, just I'm fully aware that there's not gonna be sharks in the Serpentine in Hyde Park, but still, my little brain's just like, "You will be eaten. You will get eaten if you go into that water." Elena says, "Have you seen the unicorn inspiration quotes? They are all with some F words." There's another one called Never Stay Dead. He's brilliant. He does the cutest cartoons, but the captions that go with them are just filth, like just naughty words, lots of naughty words, and it does make me giggle. I have a very sort of like puerile sense of humor, clearly. So yeah, yeah. This really, I mean, we were saying earlier, this is my job. This does not feel like work. This is my job, though. I'm so lucky. You guys are awesome. I'm loving this. I'm having such a good time. Sarah says, "Has anyone made fitted men's pants? I made some for my fiance with a simplicity pattern, but the back thigh was huge. Don't think I did anything wrong. So, any pant recommendations?" Um, no idea. Anytime that I offer to sew for my other half, I end up breaking up with them. So, I've made a pair of sleeves, and that's it for a guy. Um, but there is a group on Facebook called So Manly, and it's run by Julian. Julian Creates, and they would be the place to ask. That would be the place to join the group, tell them I sent you, and that's the place to ask, 100%. Nimue says, "The only reason the air conditioning library wasn't fuller last summer was the mask mandate. It'll be different this summer if it gets so hot again." I can imagine. Noelia says, "Hi everyone, hope you're all well. Sean, I think you mean the summer of 2003. I remember it as well. I was pregnant and had baby that summer. It was the only time my Spanish mother complained of being hot in England." Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right, 2003. It was a specific boyfriend year that year. Oh, that boy broke my heart. Massively broke my heart. I think that was the first time that I'd ever been that heartbroken over a guy. Yeah. And we broke up just after Valentine's Day as well. Like, Valentine's Day for me is notoriously bad. I've had 4 breakups on Valentine's Day. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 breakups on Valentine's Day. I like the idea of Valentine's Day, but I also don't think that that kind of level of romance should be saved for one day of the year. I think it should be something that is just um spoiling your partner, and it doesn't not just for the woman, like spoiling your partner any day of the year because you love them, rather than saving it all up for one day of the year and having all this massive pressure put onto it. I think, yeah, Valentine's Day is notoriously bad for love or life for me. Four Valentine's Day breakups. Teresa says, "Will you have everything your mum made for herself again lately? I loved that video a while back." Possibly. Honestly, mum and dad are not overly fond of being on camera, believe it or not. Like, they're very kind and they do Vlogmas for me now, but they are much happier now that they're not featured on the vlogs as often. I will ask Mum if she will do a lookbook for you guys because I think it would be interesting as well. But she has lost a lot of weight, and so a lot of the things that she's made don't fit her very well anymore. Um, which is one of the reasons she's so desperate to start on the trouser blog because she wants to make trousers. But yeah, I will ask. I will ask, but I'm not going to promise because they are very much enjoying not being on camera. So yeah. Christine says, my job I love working in a beautiful and giant fabric store a couple of days a week, just perfect. Yeah, see, Christine, I would love that too, but I would never get paid. I am still impressed with myself that I managed to get paid after being shop girl for Lady McElroy at the show last year for 2 days. I am still impressed with myself. And technically, I spent more money the day I went as a guest, but for the 2 days that I worked for them, yeah, I'm impressed that I took home any money and just didn't take it all home in fabric. Sarah says it's not you. Holidays are notorious for breakups. Yeah, yeah. I think it's a strange one, Valentine's Day, because I love the idea of it, but um, I don't think it should be reserved for that one day a year. There's the kind of like the 5 love languages, isn't there? Quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, gift giving. What's the other one? Acts of service. And I think honestly, everybody experiences feelings of love from all of those things. But the point of it is that everybody feels loved differently, and everyone shows love differently. And for me, acts of service and gift giving are ways that I express that I care about the other person. And when it's gift giving, it can be as simple as seeing a meme, um, and making that meme, making you think of the other person. It doesn't have to be elaborate gifts. It doesn't have to be flowers and jewelry every single time. It doesn't have to be expensive, over the top things. Like the guy that I was telling you about in 2003 that totally broke my heart. He used to be a club promoter, and I'd work nights as well. So he'd be out, I'd be out, and he'd always come over to mine after we'd both finished our night of work, and he'd bring back like one of the clubs had redone their bathrooms, and rather than a sink, they got like a trough, like a long trough full of these little beautiful pebbles that you washed your hands over. And so he bought me back one of the pebbles because it was pretty and he thought I'd like it. And um, he when we went out for a group dinner at a Chinese place, a fancy Chinese place, he he stole one of the chopstick rests and took that home, and it was just like, think of you. So like little gifts like that, and like I say, memes and things that you see that make you think of that person or make you think that person's going to smile. Like, for example, I've got one where Jojo sent me a somewhere to hold the sewing thing before the dressmaker's ball. Sorry, yeah. So I saw this tweet the other day, and I have a Twitter, but I don't go on Twitter very often. But I saw this tweet. Somebody had put it onto Facebook, and it says, "The world is a vast hellscape right now, but remember, the Mandarin word for penguin literally translates to business goose." And that is absolutely perfect for somebody, and I'm going to send it to them because I saw it made me laugh, and I just think it's going to make them laugh as well. And it's yeah, I think it's like gift giving for me is one of those ways where it's like, I've been out in the world and I've seen this thing and it's made me think of you during my day, so let me share it with you because I want you to, like, you know. And then the acts of service for me is like cooking, and I rarely cook for myself, very rarely cook for myself, but I absolutely love cooking and will happily cook for somebody else. And I used to do that all the time with one ex, and he was always late, and like dinner would just get ruined in the oven waiting for him to turn up, and that hurt, kind of thing. But he didn't real, and I didn't know about love languages then, but I think it's really interesting because the way that I feel loved, that's how I show love, is acts of service and gift giving. But the way I feel loved is time spent and physical touch. I mean, like, I think that everybody likes all of them, but the ones that are the most important for me, physical touch and time spent. So yeah, I think it's an interesting Valentine's Day was the start of this conversation, wasn't it? I think it's an interesting thing that it's just been this hyped up one day a year to like overdose on romance. And I just think that romance should be an integral part of a relationship day in, day out. And romance doesn't need to, again, be like the over the top, huge gestures of jewelry and flowers and chocolates. And, it doesn't have to be massively over the top. Romance can be very, very different things to very, very different people. And I think if you work out the way that your significant person feels loved, then showing them that love in small ways is much, much easier. So, yeah. Yes, now I know it's not just me with breaking up on Valentine's Day, but 4 of them. 4 of them. So, yeah. The curly Soista says, 100% agree with you about your thoughts on Valentine's Day. Why restrict it to one day? But then again, the supermarkets need to sell their stuff. Cynical me, haha. Yeah, and then like it's going to be Valentine's Day, and then suddenly it's going to be Easter, and then it's going to be something else, and then it's going to be something else, and then you're back to Halloween, and then you're back to Christmas, and yeah, it's all consumerism massively. So yeah, I remember just like seeing a flower out on a walk and picking it because it's like, oh, that'll make that person smile. Like, just it's the thoughtful things. Yeah. Anyway, says, totally get not wanting to randomly or be on camera all the time, but it would be very nice to see Jane's makes, especially things like the coat where the two of you tackle the same pattern. Yes, I would have asked her to come and film a 12 for that, but she was over on the mainland. Mum has joined up and taken, and it's the Anna chaplaincy thing with the church, and it was her confirmation on the mainland that day that I was filming, and I had to film that day because she was out of the sewing room, so I could film that day. I will 100% ask, because I know it's interesting. I mean, we're doing the Sloper video together. She knows that she's going to be on camera for that one. We're also doing the Doris dress video, like the same dress pattern for 2 different body types and how it looks. So, she's agreed to do some videos. So she probably will say yes, but I don't want to say, oh, yeah, no problem, and then it not happen. So just be aware that they are much happier off camera than they are on it. Sarah says acts of service. I was struggling with that 5th one, acts of service. Christine says, when my girls were young, I used to make a nice chocolate fondue for my family. Very nice way to celebrate love with chocolate. Chocolate is amazing. Anyway, says, for me, Valentine's Day just means that the day after Evil Author Day, and there will be lots of goodies to read from my favourite fanfic authors. Awesome. Jen says, good morning from Australia. It's 12:15 a.m. I am awake watching. Happy to join you all. Welcome and good morning, Just. The crafting gamer says, it's the shops that invented Valentine's. Yeah, I mean, St. Valentine's is actually quite bloody, isn't it? Like, yeah. Or is that just the Valentine's? There's a whole bunch of stuff around Valentine's Day. But yeah, it's a Hallmark holiday. That's what the nickname is, isn't it? Christine says, good morning from California. Just popping in to listen and give a thumbs up. Thank you. Yes, there's 137 of us and 69 likes. Sue says, first Valentine card to my husband I made. I drew a Casper the Ghost holding a red heart balloon and asking, can I keep you? Used glow in the dark paint to surprise him at night. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, that's really lovely. Debbie says, my love language is a cup of tea. I think Big Bird will agree with that one as well. when she's on half an hour behind. Yeah. Laurel says, good morning all. Good morning, Laurel. How are you, my lovely? We are chatting away and doing very little else for an hour and 50 minutes now. Wow. Life Like Vera says, Valentine's Day. Lucky if I remember my wedding anniversary. Yeah. Yeah. I do remember my wedding anniversary. It's kind of ingrained on my brain. Laurel says, best kind of live stream. Yeah. I'm glad you guys enjoy this. Christine says, it's more like Galentine's Day for me and my friends. Nice. I like that. I like that. Yeah. Again, it's like one of those things. It's like, why wait for a specific day of the year to spoil the people that you care about? Like, show them that all the time, because why not? So, the curly solicitor says, have you made a start on your hemispheric coat? I'm so excited to see it. I'll start mine after I've seen yours. I have ironed the pattern pieces. I have worked out what size I need to trace. I have worked out what alterations I need to do to the length of it. And I am going to trace that pattern out. I've got my cape and hood that I want to make with it at the same time, PDF'd and stuck together. So I'm going to trace those out as well. So that's what I'm going to do this afternoon once we stop chatting and waffling away, is get that done. Because if I start this now, then the chat's just going to go downhill, and I can't concentrate on two things at once. You know that. So yeah, this is much more fun. Sarah says, I like listening with my morning coffee. Rachel says, my wedding anniversary is the first 4 numbers of the Fibonacci code, 1123. Oh, oh. Is that the right? So you guys do your dates differently. Is that the 23rd of January 2001? November 23rd. Oh, November 23rd. You're not trying to remember the date, the year. Sorry, you're just doing the date. Okay, cool. Yeah, because you guys put your things backwards. Sarah says, Brandon buys me flowers and it makes me melt every time, even when I'm there when he buys them. Oh, I was dating a guy once who went to South Africa twice whilst we were dating. It was Christmas and New Year that he went over, and he had an amazing apartment he was a millionaire as well. He was a bit of a cocky millionaire though. He had an amazing apartment in London, just outside London Bridge, near Borough Market. And I was living in Bedford Court Mansions at the time. I had a room in a flat share, which was gorgeous. I mean, it was a mansion block, and it was amazing. The room was as big as this. It was lovely. But yeah, for Christmas, Tatty and my friend Kai came to spend Christmas with me. So he was like, oh, well, I'm not going to be here. Here's the keys. Like, have my apartment. And it was a very nice apartment. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Thank you. So he was away for like 10 days. So he had a cleaner. So the cleaner came in and cleaned everything beforehand. But I went to the supermarket and got him stuff for a fried breakfast because he enjoyed cooked breakfasts. I got him a bunch of flowers. And yeah, I just made sure that like he had like groceries in for when he got back. And I bought him a bunch of flowers. And because I thought that was nice. So he comes back and he's just like, oh, that's really sweet of you. Thank you very much. He's like, but guys don't really like flowers. It would have been better to be like, to have got me, he was joking, but he was like, it would have been better to get me porn. I was like, right, okay. So we went away for a second time at the end of January. He went back to South Africa for another time. Little did I know that whilst he was in South Africa, he was shagging around with like anybody that would have him. I didn't know this at the time. Although the second time there was a girl that he'd fancied for ages, and she'd always been in a relationship, and she finally broke up with her boyfriend whilst he was there, and they got together, and he unfriended me because she put a picture of them up on Facebook kissing and tagged him in it. But he unfriended me, but it wasn't a private picture, so I saw it anyway, and it was just like, oh. But by that time, I'd already gone and done the same thing. I'd bought him breakfast, got him groceries in, and this time I bought him a Playboy because he'd said. So I thought that was funny. So anyway, he came home to all of this stuff, and he sort of messaged me, and he was like, "Oh, that's really nice." And I was just like, "Yeah, I think I need to give you the keys back." And then he tried, like, he massively backpedaled and was just like, "Oh, I'm really stupid. I'm so sorry." All the rest of it, and I listened to it. I have no idea why. Ooh, did I listen to it? Yeah, I did listen. No, I didn't listen to it. And then I got really sick, and I was in hospital, and my flatmate had taken me up to A&E and was sitting with me in A&E, and this guy happened to text whilst we were there, and my flatmate Gil replied to the text and just said, "No, she's not all right, she's in A&E, she's really rough." And he turned up, and he found out what I needed and took me back to his place and looked after me for 3 days whilst I was sick, and then was just like, "I'm so sorry." And I listened to him. And it's like, once a cheater, always a cheater. Like, no, it wasn't good. But yeah, like, so I've bought flowers for guys before. I remember having roses sent to my boyfriend at his work once because I just, I liked that, so I thought, why not? I think I was 19 at the time, and yeah, the florist had to chase him around. To chase him around the workplace to try and deliver these flowers, and he was just like, "God, no, 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 no." I was there. Yeah. So yeah, I like sending flowers. I like getting flowers, but I like sending flowers to people as well. I think it's nice. Christina says, "I'm in awe of your organization behind you. I'm a crocheter and must get some more shelving like yours to contain my yarn chaos." Yes. I love these units. I love these so much. IKEA is fabulous. The Curly Sorceress says, "Agree, please say in chat." Tia's laughing. Laurel says, "My husband and I went on our first date in late February, so we observe our anniversary more than Valentine's Day." Yeah. Sarah says, "I think everyone likes flowers. My guy friends always comment on how beautiful they are." Yeah. Claire says, "Afternoon all, just popping in between tidying and cleaning as my husband's getting back from hospital this afternoon after major surgery, so I want to make sure the house is nice. Oh, I hope he's okay, and I hope he recovers quickly." Sarah says, "Can appreciate the beauty of them without wanting them." Yes. Nimue says, I have actually managed to hand hem almost a quarter of my lining skirt so far while chatting away with you guys. Nice. Christine says, "That's why my friends and I celebrate Valentine's Day. We've been mansplained to one too many times." Oh, you gotta love it when a guy mansplains. Yeah. Nimue says, "I might need to restock on tea though." Yes, I'm getting to the end of my drink. Yeah, you gotta love it when a guy mansplains things. Some of my favorite tweets are like from women who are the foremost author or like expert in that field, and they're tweeting that like, "I've just been mansplained. I've just had my book mansplained to me." You're just like, how? Yeah. Tia says, "Buy and give Valentine's card. Buy and give a Valentine's card a few months later has much more impact of year-round love." Yeah, 100%. Thank you for joining us, Tia. Yes. Yeah, we've been waffling for 2 hours, guys. Waffling for 2 whole hours. I think I'm going to call it a day because I need to go and get another drink, need a bio break, and I could very easily sit here and waffle at you for another hour, but I also need to get this hemispheric coat because tomorrow we start slopers. So I really need to get this hemispheric coat traced cut out, altered, and possibly even cut out of calico. And I'm trying to think if I've got enough time to do those 3 projects as well today, because I've got nothing else to do. So, me. Jojo says 2 hours. We're good at this waffling malarkey, aren't we? We are. Christine says, "Lol, it's truly quite a laugh how mansplaining just makes things worse." Yep. I mean, you kind of have to giggle. You do, because yeah. I'm always like, whenever I'm teaching at the retreats and things like that, I always try and be like, "Look, I'm not trying to teach you to suck eggs, but this is the way that I do this, and this is why." And some people are like, "Oh, yeah, no, I do this way too for the same reasons." Or they're like, "Oh, I hadn't thought about that." But I'm never trying to be like, "My way is the right way." It's just like, this is why I do the thing and why. But when guys mansplain stuff, it's like, "Well, no, I'm right, you're wrong. Let me tell you why." It's just like, then you're like, "Okay." You have to giggle. Oh, yeah. Rachel then says, "You can do it." Yes! I have all afternoon and evening to do this. It'll be fine. It'll be totally fine. Jojo says, "Can't wait to see the hemispheric coat. It's on my list for later in the year." Yeah, I think I'm going to really like this one. Because I mean, I love this black one. I love my black one, but it's a very formal coat. And this one is going to be a smart coat, but it's not going to be too formal, I don't think. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a day, guys, because like I say, I need a bio break, if nothing else, and I need more squash. And I've got lots to do today. And as fabulous as this is, I am not getting anything done. So the plan for this week is lots of shorts, and hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully, some kind of sloper video on Friday or possibly Saturday. And I am thinking about going back to the one proper video a week and then shorts the rest of the time. You guys have seemed to really enjoy the kind of like progress shorts as well as the get ready with me shorts. And I am going to start doing those a lot more because I like all the special effects. Clicking into your clothes is yeah. But yeah, I'm planning on doing kind of like progress shorts on how it's all going as well, and then we'll have the roundup video on Friday or Saturday, depending on how it goes. But I'm thinking it's going to go back to one proper video a week rather than the 2 that I've been doing for the last month. And like January is kind of a special case because January is all about like the plans for the year and setting intentions and that kind of thing. So I'm thinking that January, that's why I put out so many videos, because if I'd have spaced them out one by one, one per week, we'd have been doing plans through to the end of February. So it made sense for me to put out 2 videos a week for January like I've done. And then in February going to the one proper big scale kind of like this is what like a Rachel Maxey kind of thing, like this is what I've been working on this week. So that is the plan. I do have quite a lot of talking head kind of just sit down and chat with, like drop in pictures and things to not like a make or anything like that. I have a couple of those, like how to sew an intentional wardrobe, things to think about when you're lining something, those kind of videos. So I have a lot of those that could possibly be a second week like a second video for the week, but I don't want to promise that. So lots of shorts, Friday or Saturday, sloper update, hang out on the Sunday, and then repeat. So thank you very much for all of you for hanging out with me. It seems like we have all enjoyed the waffle. But yeah, it's been really, really fun. So thank you very much for hanging out with me. I will see you all tomorrow for a short of some description or another and the start of the slopers. Wish us luck. But I should try and end things gracefully now. So thank you, and I'll see you soon.
Bye.